What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. He is former U of MMA champion Pius Inalalobo, better known as Voodoo Maximus. I'm according to Woods, and we have the champ. The champ is here. The new Lights Out Xtreme Fighting 185-pound champion, repping CMMA. He's the one, the only Ozzy Diaz. Ozzy, what's going on, bro?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me. Man, it's been a long time since I've spoken to Voodoo, but I'm excited, brother. Hell yeah.
Hell yes.
Hey.
Let's talk.
Man. The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. The pleasure is ours, man. Welcome to
sure,
Voodoo in the Woods, my brother.
Hell yeah.
No, let's start off with that because, I kind of know, I'm fortunate enough to kind of follow the scene, but for those who don't know, let's get your guys' relationship. How Voodoo and Ozzy, how do you guys know each other?
Well, Voodoo and I fought U of MMA together, and it was just one of those that we just kind of like, we're there to fight, but how this community is, small world, and we show love to each other, and just through the years, relationship just grew, man, and we are here, and it was just a love. We may not speak for years, but there's always that love that we have. You know what I mean? Like we see each other. What's up? It's always it's mutual respect, man.
Yeah,
what's up, man?
I think we say it in my family's from Fiji. Ain't no love lost, right? Because you could see each other yesterday, you could see each other tomorrow, 10 years from now, and just pick right back up, which is
man,
what you guys do.
Hell yeah.
Straight up, man. Straight. And when like we're all cutting weight together, we're all weighing in together. And then after that weigh-in, we all go eat together. So
100%.
That's what we bond. When it's time to eat, we all bond when it's time to eat.
Hell yeah.
It is what it is, man,
Yeah.
And sometimes
it's funny because when you're eating, it's all quiet.
Exactly. and sometimes we're probably in the same blue corner or in the same red corner. So, we get to chill in the same locker room too and chop it up back there.
Yeah, we see each other go through these like emotional roller coaster, you know what I mean? Like ups and downs, and then L's and W's. Like you get to see it, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, man, like we all go through the same thing in some way, you know what I mean?
Wait, you mean to tell me that weight cutting isn't easy? What? you mean you're moody when you get weight cut? What?
Yeah, a little bit,
So obviously, Lights Out Xtreme Fighting is where you won your championship this past Saturday, October 30th, the day before Halloween, at the Burbank Marriott and Convention Center. Many great fights have happened there, but let's kind of take it back a little bit. How did you get involved in combat sports? Like, were you a fan as a kid, or like, what was the deal?
I used to play football, and I was this guy, 300 pounds, and my brother actually was the one that started training mixed martial arts. And I had stopped playing football at the time, and I would hang out with some of my friends. We used to smoke weed, and I was like, hey, let's go watch my brother train. And then, I see him train jiu-jitsu, and I'm like, faded and just watching him. I'm tripping out until one day he was like, hey, go train with me. And I was like, nah, it's like, I'm a football player. I don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, I want, like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to fight. And then I went, and like, I just seen these dudes just put it on me, and I just, I didn't like it. And I was like, how can you're this 150-pound dude just outpower a 300-pound man? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what's going on? I had to learn. You know what I mean? And humbled me, but I just got addicted after that, man. I got addicted. Yeah.
I think that's great, right? But a bit of a pioneer you are between you and your brother's exploits, right? Because your brother was doing jiu-jitsu, you were getting high. You guys were the precursor to High Rollers BJJ, no?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, for sure.
Now, after that first time, like, you're like, what kept you coming back? You're already in football. It's already competitive, just like Voodoo, right? You guys played football. And, but, what was it that kept you there after that kind of like, you were kind of hit or miss? You were kind of más o menos on it at first.
Yeah, it was that. It was the fact that I wasn't that good at it. You know what I mean? Nothing, like, I'm not saying football is easy, because it's not, but it's like you learn one position and you try to perfect that position, and like, that's it. And martial arts, you feel like you perfect something, and then here comes another person that's just way better than you at that same thing, or what you're doing doesn't work on a certain person or a certain size, and it's just like it's just you're always learning, you're always adjusting, and it's never the same. You know what I mean? You could have a good day and bad days in martial arts. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was the difference. It was the competition and the fact that like it was something new every single day. You know what I mean? It was something new. I feel like I became a real student of it. You know what I mean? Like football was fun. I was a student, but martial arts, I feel like I had to become a student to get better. You know, like a real student.
That's funny because I mean, if you don't know about Voodoo, Voodoo is a legit like teacher. He is a
Yeah.
bastion of knowledge. So it's
Yeah,
funny
for
that
sure.
you're wanting that knowledge, and you're
Yeah,
the
I
student of the
know.
game, and you're
Yeah,
friends with this guy.
for sure. Yeah, man.
Hey, speaking of student and teacher and all that, so where was your first official um, school of martial
that
arts? The
that I
first
started.
place, yeah, that got you started. What is the name of this place so we can shout them out?
It was it's actually like I don't think it exists anymore. It was the tap out in downtown LA. You guys remember that? A couple like
Yeah.
10, 11 years ago? Yeah,
Mm.
it was there, and my first jiu-jitsu coach, Frank Culture, he was the one that kind of got it started for me, you know. Well, not kind of, he did get it started for me, you know. And yeah, that was the spot right there, and it was fun. Yeah.
So from jujitsu, now you're going to this. When did that transition happen from jujitsu to this?
I want to say when like I tore my meniscus and my only professional loss. And I kind of like couldn't grapple because like you know my meniscus wasn't there and I couldn't get the angle, so I had to like really start from the ground up and like just kind of stationary boxing. You know what I mean? Just throwing hands and yeah, man. Then I once I got the surgery and all that, I had to do footwork, and then you know it just kind of I kind of fell in love, and I kind of like started understanding the range and boxing a little bit more, and I fell in love with the stand up aspect of martial arts because I had to. You know, I couldn't just not do nothing. You know what I mean? I had to, and my hands I want to say just like is the most improved out of everything. You know?
Have you gotten to a point where you felt, because obviously starting in jiu-jitsu and grappling, and then I mean it's almost like speaking another language. I think I
Right.
saw a meme today about like how the hell are you going to get mad at somebody who speaks two different languages and can't
Yeah.
speak like it totally in one aspect of it. And I'm like, yeah, look at something like I don't know, Sepulveda, and it just gets
Yeah.
weird, right? So
Right.
with that
Right.
with that being said, was there ever a point where your striking and your jiu-jitsu kind of met, in terms of your proficiency level, like, or was it just one or the other kind of lopsided?
No, I mean, I think our jujitsu will always like you know be there. I just think that like we like my coach Chad George, like he actually believes in my hands a lot, and so we really work a lot on that on range and like you know just like he's always evolving my striking, and I feel like he always tells me like, hey, just know that your jujitsu is always there no matter what. We train it all the time, you know what I mean? So it's always in our back pocket. Um, yeah, man. I my first couple fights, I was like choking people out, but like now we're knocking people out. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's
Uh,
not like I look for these finishes. It's just they just happen, bro.
it comes.
They just happen. You
Now,
know.
speaking of your first couple of fights, when was your actual first amateur fight?
My first amateur was in U of MMA, and I believe
Ah,
March 2012, 13, around there.
yeah, it's
Yeah, that
about
was
the
my
same
first
time as
amateur fight.
me.
Yeah,
About the
yeah.
same time as me.
I think we actually
I'm
debuted
the
at the
same
same thing.
one.
Yeah, yeah. I think you fought my teammate actually. Yeah, you fought my teammate at the time.
That was my
Um,
second fight.
oh, that was
That
your
was my
second
second
fight.
fight.
Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is about around the same time. Around the
Around the
same
same
time.
time. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, around the same time. Coach Hyro.
yeah. Yeah, that's my boy,
Yeah.
man. That's
I
my
ran
boy.
into
Yeah.
him by the I ran into him that day. Right before you
Yeah, yeah,
fought,
he
I
told
ran
me. He
into
told
him.
me. Yeah. Yeah, that's one of my biggest supporters, man. Like I met him through this sport and we clicked, bro. Like he's my best friend to this day, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude, he's always been 100%, man. From the first time I met him, even back then, when we were on opposite side of the fence, he was
Yeah,
still 100. You know, he's
yeah,
just that type of guy, and I'm very happy that you were able to come in contact with someone of such purity in nature like that,
yeah. No,
because
yeah.
now
He's
his influence, you know what I mean, his
yeah,
influence on you at such a young age has, helped spark this awesome individual that we have before us today.
yeah. 100%. He's amazing, man. He's been like you said, 100 since day one. Loyal as hell. As loyal as they come.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now, for both of you guys, because you guys are both alumnus of U of MMA, and shout out to Turi Atavia as well
Mhm.
as Jay Tan for putting that
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing together. I mean, I was in Bakersfield, kind of like waiting to come back to LA, chomping at the bit to get involved with the scene, and I was hating my life at this corporate like office job, but I was watching all of you guys and Donna Gonzalez doing the interviews and Hanach and all that jazz, and I was just like,
yeah,
but so many people spun off of there. Bellator, UFC, AEW, WWE, all people from
yeah.
like organizations now, like the top four combat sports organizations, in my estimation, all started out in U of MMA.
Yeah,
So how was that
yeah.
experience for the both of you guys?
It's pretty cool. Like, I believe like we were some of the first ones, right? But I think what made it big is like a lot of the people kept fighting.
Yes, yes.
It was the same, so it was kind of like to what you see now to these bigger stages, and it's just like sometimes every once in a while you see a random fighter, but a lot of us were like on every card they did. We were just the same one. I felt like a fan base was able to be established, and that's just how we got built, bro.
Yeah, yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree. I felt compelled to be as active as I could.
Mm.
One, because uh, uh, the environment was just so welcoming.
Yeah,
They were very professional. J10 and Turi, they were extremely professional.
yep,
The arena itself was fantastic.
hell yeah.
I just couldn't wait to get back. I
Mhm.
couldn't wait to get back. When it was time to fight, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta fight. But
Yeah,
when it's time to sign that contract, I couldn't wait to sign it.
yeah.
You know what I
Same
mean?
here, man.
Go through,
Same here.
yeah, man. Yeah, go through the training camp, go through all that. I couldn't wait to do all that. But then when it was fight time, I was like, oh shit. But
I
I
forgot
always
I gotta
got
fight.
through it. Exactly.
Yeah.
But the experience was second to none.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely. Now we got Mick Mac over on YouTube that's saying hi. What's going on, Mick Mac?
What up, McMac?
Yeah, glad to have you on. BJ Darden says, "Oh shit, Saturn was the best podcast in the world." Tell that to Joe Rogan, but I thank you regardless. And check out According to Woods on YouTube Weekly. I appreciate that. But Jamal Harris said, "Ozzy is an OG of the MMA community of Cali."
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. Hell yeah, we just getting warmed up.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I mean, obviously, the Maharaja of MMA. That I like it. No, but here's the thing. In terms of your coach Ozzy. It says right there on your sweatshirt, right at
Yeah,
CA of
man. Where is
MMA.
it?
So
Yeah,
yeah,
boom.
right there, right there, right
Hell yeah.
there. So obviously, because I actually caught the tail end of it wasn't even tap out; it was just HQ,
Yeah,
and I kind of met up with Bosun Wang, who was a videographer. D Rod was there. And Eddie had already left. He already
yeah,
went across the street and what have you. But it was kind of like the dying days and what have
yeah.
you. But I mean, what led you to go like transition over to CMMA? Like, was it a logistical thing? Like, were you away from downtown LA, or was it you're closer to the South Bay? Like, what led you to CMMA?
So I started with tap out, and then at the time, tap out let my head coach go, Frank Culture, and so I never trained at or head coach go. We followed him. He started his own gym called NZT Pancration, and that's where we train. But towards the end at NCT, I was just like, you know what? Like, I felt like like I can't. I'm not learning anymore. You know, I felt like I hit a plateau and it was repetitive, and it got to the point where like I was running pretty much the classes, you know. It's like not nothing against them. It's just like, you know, I had stopped growing as a fighter, as a person too, you know. And like training was like, oh man, I don't feel like training no more, like, you know, because I knew I had to teach instead of train or learn, you know what I mean? So I did my last amateur fight, and I had after that I told him, you know what, I think it's time for me to like move on. Like if I want to go professional, I gotta go surround myself with high level professionals, you know what I mean? And yeah, we looked around a couple of gyms, and then we went to CMMA and met Chad George, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, this dude's a wizard. Like, holy crap, he's the best, you know what I mean? And he continues to get better, bro. And it's just like it's ridiculous the knowledge that this guy has. It's like it's not even fair. Not even fair.
Now, in terms of who was in the room, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, what time period is this in your career? Was this? I mean, obviously, it's after your last amateur fight. You don't
Mm.
take your first pro fight until like 2015 at King of the
Yeah.
Cage,
Yeah.
right, against Leon Klee. But I mean,
Right.
who was in the room at CMMA? Because now it's nuts. Like, not to say that CMMA wasn't already like a gym of champions, because it
Hmm.
absolutely was. But then
Right.
there's the infusion of Josh Barnett's UWF
Right.
USA, and it's just like these. It's a super group. It's a fucking super group. You guys are
Mm.
audio slave kicking all types of ass. So
Yeah.
like, who like your first day at CMMA? Like, who was in the room? Theoretically?
Um, at the time, I want to say, well, like for sure, it was, you know, Dominic Clark, Chase, you know, Cooper, rest in peace, of course. Yeah, those guys, like those three guys were there. There was a couple of other guys, but Cameron, I don't know if you guys know Cameron. Cameron, he's amazing, amazing striker. Um, and then was this my old buddy. His name was Owen. So before I went to CMMA, I was always the biggest dude in my gym. So I could like, you know, what made me stay there is like the big guys that were there. And now I got a feel of like, oh damn, like people my weight hit hard. You know what I mean? Like I had to learn, but not that like. And then I see get Chase, Cooper, and like Dom, like they're piecing me up and they're picking me off the ground. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, you know, I was just one of the best at my other gym. Like they couldn't do this shit to me. I come in here and I'm just like, yeah, like I got a lot of work to do. That's what made me stay there, because I was just like, yeah, this is where I need to be, like getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah,
very important, the your reason for moving on from NZT.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
Woods and I, we discuss that all the time. Um um we watch these fighters, and what we see is the same thing over and over, the same thing, like a broken record over and over. We don't see evolution. And we're sitting back, we're outside the box, we're looking into the box, and we're seeing the game changing so quickly, but these fighters are still remaining the same. Like,
yeah,
there's no way you're gonna make it. You're not gonna make it with the
yeah,
game changing as fast as it's changing. And and
right,
and and I'm sure this is the reason why you make the shift, and
yeah.
now you are seeing for yourself that at your new place you're getting you're realizing, like, I actually don't even know anything at all.
A hundred
You know what I
percent,
mean?
bro. Hell
Yeah.
yeah. I went in thinking I know a lot. Yeah, right. You know, probably a fraction
And
of that. You know.
right, and this is what's
Yeah,
going to make you that much better, because now you're like Socrates said, I actually don't know anything at all, and this is why I know everything, because I know
yeah.
I don't know everything. And
Hell
right,
yeah,
so now your mind is open, right? You're open to
yeah.
all sorts of new information, and from there
Hell
you're
yeah.
going to evolve, and the sky's the limit.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, it's all about evolving, man. And also, like,
That's right.
as you evolve, you also got to pass the knowledge down as well, you know?
Yes.
Always pass it
Yes.
down, you know? That's why I love coaching too, you know?
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
so
hey, 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 hey. Whoa, I'm sorry, Woods. I'm happy that he mentioned what he just mentioned.
Mhm.
That's why I love coaching too. See, it's one thing to learn these techniques and do the techniques, but it's a whole other game to be able to teach someone else these techniques and get them up to par to where they should be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hell
Right?
yeah,
It's a whole nother
100%.
ball game. It's a whole nother ball game to actually teach the technique.
Yeah,
Right? It actually helps the individual doing the teaching, helps solidify the technique even a little bit deeper in the mind.
yeah,
Am I right?
yeah. Because sometimes, yeah, 100%. Sometimes, like the way you learn it or the way you explain it doesn't make sense to somebody. So you have
Mhm.
to find different words or different like approaches to teaching that one
Yeah.
technique sometimes. So then you're like, oh, well, I just learned a different way how to explain it, and now it's gonna help my game as well. You know what I mean? You just learn like a different avenue.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
No, I absolutely love it, and that's one of the things that I love about combat sports, right? I mean, it's still you remember doing math problems, and they'd be like the variable x plus 12
Yeah.
makes 72. Well, it's the
Mm.
variable, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's like making a great fighter, right? There are people that have just trained jujitsu and they can, get by on their jujitsu or just strike and get by
Yeah.
on that, right? And even get to, I mean, we just had a person in Fight Island that had like a lopsided record, like a 3-2 record, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so I mean, oh, and then we've got guys and girls that stay in the same gym, from right was
Yeah.
with Mike Winklejohn from the jump, right? As a teenager
Yeah.
all the way till now, right? And then you've got people who kind of sample or like your story almost reminds me a bit of Curtis Melinda, right? Where
Mm.
you guys were started out at one gym and then
Mhm.
you gain your biggest glory, at a gym, and that in itself is a different language. Just like you said,
Right.
you thought you
Yeah.
were running shit. You were running shit. You were wrecking shit in your old
Yeah.
gym, and then coming back and like I fucking
Getting,
know nothing, right? So
yeah.
like,
Getting humble.
right. So what I want to know is like what kind of keeps you on those like tough days, like to keep you humble, because like I man, I remember the first time like I grappled Herb Dean, and it was just like a damn gorilla with a kitten, and I was the kitten,
Mm.
and I never felt like that. But it can be as good as it was and what have you, it can be demoralizing. So
Yeah.
like what gets you through those days of like, shit, fucking Dom just fucking wrestle fuck the shit out of me, or
Yeah.
like like what
Yeah.
gets you through it?
Well, like it's funny because we actually go through that a lot where we just like fuck, like we just can't get it going. But
Yeah.
I think a lot what makes CMMA special is how much like Chad works on our mental strength. You know what I mean? Like he is on us up here so much that like like there's no quit, you know what I mean? Like, and even if you're about to quit, like he's gonna find the words to like fucking push you, you know what I mean? And a lot of it has to come to the mental strength, honestly, because like we have more shitty days than great days, honestly, you know what I mean? And if you don't have the mental strength to like get back up and do it again, then it's gonna be really, really hard, you know what I mean? Because you could be a beast, you could be an athlete, but if you don't have this, woo, you're gonna break every time, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Hell yeah.
Which makes your coaching style, I would imagine, a bit unique because it's something that you go through yourself. And just like you were saying earlier about, some people can explain it to you, but it not hit, but
Right.
like it takes somebody that's kind of been in the trenches or can, kind of mastermind a stellar performance, and who's been there to kind of
Yeah.
articulate what somebody's feeling after a loss. Like I paid $200 for a jiu-jitsu tournament, or I got my medicals done,
Hmm.
blah blah blah. It's like a short notice fight, and damn, I fucking got KO'd. But you
Yeah.
kind of have been there, not in
Yeah.
the KO instance, but like you've been there in the
Yeah.
trenches to kind of
Yeah.
articulate that in a language that your students can understand.
Yeah, man, these students look up to you, and then how can I push someone and says like, you know what, like losses are okay, and then I lose, and then be like defeated for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Like, what am I preaching there? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to lead by example, and losses do suck. We like they do, but like I've learned that like if I wouldn't have lost my last fight, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. And like as Chad can attest to, like, yeah, I got sad, but when I got knocked out that fight in the ring, I said, well, it is what it is. like I need to move on from this right here. I'm gonna leave this loss in this ring, and I'm not gonna take it with me no more. And I had to forget about it right there within 5 minutes, and I did, and that's what got me stronger, you know.
I love
That's
it.
what's up.
Yeah, yeah.
Alex Ramirez, the good brother, says, "Can I have your autograph, Ozzy?
Of course, of course.
We'll make that happen. We'll
We'll
make
make
that
that
happen.
happen.
100%. But speaking of, I mean, coaches who train and kick ass. I mean, Voodoo. I know you got something right percolating.
Uh, a little some here and there.
So, I mean, in terms, I mean, do you have up to this juncture of your career, do you have like, and it doesn't have to be like favorite fight necessarily, but like sometimes the lead up to the fight, the training, how you feel, figuring out a way to get like, work around those nagging injuries and, like massage therapy or cupping and you're feeling great and optimizing your performance. Like, do you have a favorite moment in your career thus far, whether that be actually fighting or the training or just the way you feel coming out of the gym?
That's a tough one. There's so many moments that like uh that's very, very, very tough. One of my favorite moments has got to be this last fight, man. Honestly, my favorite moment is getting my hand raised against the level of competition I just got into a fight with.
Mm.
Like this fight, it wasn't even about the belt. Like, yes, the belt was amazing, but like I said, told you guys earlier, it was like fighting someone like Moses. Like this is like gets me closer to the next stage. If you know what I mean. Like nothing against Moses. Like I actually think he's great. I just think beating someone like Moses gave me like established what I already know about myself. You know what I mean? So knowing that I have that in here, that if I have to get in a dog fight, I have that, and I'm glad I experienced that. And I think learning that has to be my favorite thing about my career this far. It's like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next levels.
Hey,
Yeah,
I believe that. I believe what you just said. I
yeah,
believe it. I'll tell you why I believe it. Because I saw it in your eyes, man. I saw it in
yeah,
your eyes. And your entire approach to that particular fight. Everything you just mentioned, that you just said, is absolutely true because I saw with my two eyes, man. I watched
yeah,
you closely. I watched you closely. I watched you
yeah,
closely.
yeah.
And the guy that I knew and the guy that I saw were two different people, man. Complete
Mhm.
polar opposite. Polar opposite. Hey, you didn't brawl, man. You didn't brawl. You
Yeah,
went in there, you were systematic. You threw only necessary shots and you
yes,
landed
sir.
them. And
Yeah,
and the elbow game was pretty nice too, man. I was peeping the elbow
I
game
appreciate
too.
it. Hell yeah,
Hey,
yeah. They're,
I
they're
like how
always
you were
there.
closing the distance with the elbow, man, from the jab to the elbow. It was beautiful.
Man, I
Everything
appreciate that.
came together like a perfectly fitting glove. And wow, man, what a conclusion. What a conclusion.
Thank you, man. I would give a
Congratulations,
shout
man.
out. Thank you. Give a shout out to my boxing coach Jose Garnillo. We actually worked that a lot. You know what I mean? Uppercuts, elbows, and knees, and big shout out to him. Big shout out to him. Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, since we're on it, let's talk about this fight again. Halloween Eve, October 30th, at the Burbank Marriott and Convention Center. So you've helped corner and hold mitts for a lot of your teammates that have fought on cards. Whether it
yeah,
be Muay Thai, other things that just come through Burbank Marriott and Convention Center. But
yeah.
this was your promotional debut, right?
Hmm.
And it was a title fight, a co-main,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, that's bonkers in itself. I mean, we have a live crowd. There's nothing like a SoCal crowd. I mean, a lights out extreme fighting, and even the previous incarnation of Seek XF. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets live all the time. There hasn't been a bad fight, but
No.
it was kind of cool because it might have been in many people's eyes a come from behind because a lot of people had like Moses winning that first one. It was closer than a lot of people think, but that
Yeah.
damn uppercut, I think Francis Ngannou would be damn proud, bro.
Yeah, for sure, right? That's funny. Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, Hey, what I'm noticing is the swiftness in your hands. There is no push anymore. It's only
Right.
snaps. It's
Right.
only snaps. And people don't understand how hard it is to get to that point. It is not
Oh,
easy
100%. Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
to that point. It is not easy at all, man. It is not easy.
Yeah.
But you have it now. You have it now. So
Yep.
we've shifted gear. Now we're at the next level. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hell
all
yeah.
up from here. It's all
Hell
up
yeah.
from here.
And we're gonna keep working on it, man. Cause like
Oh yeah.
even like I just got off the phone with Chad, like, and he said he rewatched the fight, and like there's so much, like, obviously, in any fight you make mistakes, but man, like even though this fight was amazing and it was our way, I can pick so many things out to grow from in this fight.
Yeah.
It's like ridiculous, and I'm excited to like get back in the room, heal up a little bit. Obviously, I can't spar, but like um I'm excited to grow because there's so much there that I can fix still. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe to the naked eye they don't see it, but like as a martial artist, Voodoo, like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, there's so much growth in this fight that we can get from. So I'm excited to get back in the room and just get better, bro. Like, damn, I'm excited.
And even when he touched you, your the peace in your mind was
Mhm.
apparent.
Yeah.
Even like usually when a fighter gets touched, there's usually um heightened anger of some sort, right? That was not
Right.
there. It was more like acceptance. Okay, you got me there.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, I saw you say, "Okay, you got me there," but then you went right
Yeah.
back to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was so amazing. It was so
Yeah.
amazing to see the growth in you, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
I
then
cannot.
to now. Oh my God.
Oh, appreciate it, man. You can't, like, if you get, I mean, we're in a fight, bro. Like you can't
Yes.
expect, like, oh, I'm gonna go in there and not get hit. Like, I'm okay getting hit. You know what I mean? Now, I hope the one that hits us don't put us out, of course.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, if you hit me, that's it. Like, you hit me. You know what I mean? Like, congrats, you hit me. Let's move on. You know what I mean? Instantly, like, let's go, let's go. I'm still here, so let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know what I mean? Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and Josiah Taylor's just like, hey, and just, I mean, you're preaching the gospel, Ozzy, in regards to Josiah. So shout out to Josiah. But
Hell yeah.
geez, and where does that come from? Like, that's like straight up some chingasas, but also your fight IQ, right? And a lot of people, I mean, especially at the end of the main event, people are like, I can do that, or you
Yeah.
have to just bleed, motherfuckers. And casual MMA fans, we love you. You're the ones
Hell
that
yeah.
pay $80 for UFC fucking fights. So come one, come
Yeah.
all. But
Yeah.
but the thing about it, there's an artisanship, right? This is your craft, right? Much like
Mm.
Picasso, much like Beethoven, crafting their masterpieces. Just like you said, you have the presence of mind of basically saying, hey, even in a win, even with this fucking fancy ass title belt in a co-main
Mm.
event, well, guess what? I still got stuff to work on, right? You're a
100%.
carpenter.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Man, I'm excited. Yeah.
So where does it come from?
Man, like, I know I'm probably gonna bore you with this, bro, but like, man, like the wizard himself, Chad, bro. Like, we have these like sparring sessions that he gets like specifically for each of the person that's fighting. Where literally in the gym we have like a walkout, you know what I mean? Like, he puts us in a corner, he puts the other dude in a corner, he's in the middle, you ready to fight, you ready to fight. And then at the end of the sparring sessions, like, he actually grades us. You know what I mean? Like, this is, you know what I mean? So like, he'll sit, like, for example, if I was sparring Voodoo, like, he'll sit you and I down, and then he'll be like, Voodoo, what do you grade Ozzy from 1 to 10? You know what I mean? For example, and then you'll give your advice, and then I might, let's just say, for example, I say a 10, and he'll be like, you know what? That was actually a 4, like, in my opinion. Like, you know what I mean? So like, he's constantly making us evolve and making us think differently. It may have been a good performance, but he knows what we're capable of. So it allows us to continue to grow. Like I said, it's all about growth every day. You know what I mean? And like, he's flying in tomorrow. We're gonna rewatch the fight together, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna, like, not chew my ass out, but he's gonna tell me, all right, this is what we're gonna work on, and now we have stuff to gain from. That's where the IQ comes from. Like, from having a man like that behind me, bro, it gives me all the confidence in the world.
I love it, and and people learn in different ways. So
That's right.
absolutely, absolutely.
That's right.
So I mean, obviously we've talked a lot about Chad, but I mean, in terms of where you were, because I'm not just getting the fight aspect of it, because a
Yeah,
lot of times, right? People, if they do it right. I mean, look, we had, along with me and the Gym Crashers doing interviews, you had Ashley Evan Smith, right? And
right.
she shifted gears and been able to cultivate some of the aspects that they took into fights into interviewing and podcasting and what have you, right? And
Yeah,
the things that you're learning from Chad, you're taking out in the real world and
yeah, yeah.
experiencing with your family and what have you. So I mean, what has like, it's hard to encompass, but up to this juncture, like, what has Chad meant to you, not just as a coach but as a person?
Man, well, Chad is like obviously my head coach. He is like a good friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like really, really good friend of mine. But he's also like especially like when it comes to a sport, like he's like a father to us. You know what I mean? Like he is really, but he's not like that type of father. We're like, oh, it's okay, son. He's that harsh type of father that's gonna tell you like it is, and even if you don't like it, it is what it is. He's not gonna bullshit you. You know, he's gonna tell you, hey, you didn't do this good, but you know what? You're an amazing person. Like, nah, hell no. He's just gonna tell you like it is. You need to work on this, and you got to get to it. You know what I mean? And like every day, he'll be like, "Have you been working on it? Have you been working on it?" And then once he sees you, if you haven't, he's gonna get on your ass about it. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's we have a really good relationship, but when it's on the mats, he's doing his job and I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? Like there's that level of respect for him. You know what I mean? Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%. And it's just, it's those nuances, right? That
Yeah.
makes a gym, that makes a, and the thing that most people don't realize, right, is like, and sometimes the fighters themselves don't realize it. If they're in a
Mhm.
bad situation, they might. And Voodoo is a bastion of this, right? Being
Mhm.
loyal and watching your career, loyal to a coach that might not get you to where you want to be or to an optimal performance or career, but
Mhm.
the fighter's loyal, and you see them kind of circle the drain, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're essentially the player one to your coach's ideology. The
Yeah.
infrastructure that they're setting up around Fight Cap. I mean, that's, to me, just like any war general, just like any professor or what have you,
Mhm.
any of these, like, staples of like modern civilization. Like,
Right.
you are their player one. You're
Yeah.
basically the clay, the unmolded clay, for them to kind of form, and you are trusting this person with your life, because if the game plan isn't right, or if it's not followed to a T, or if it's
Yeah.
not responding, the antennas aren't up, well, guess what? It could mean horrible, horrible results.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah. 100%. Yeah, he like it's funny, like in between rounds and that and the Moses fight, like yeah, we had a game plan and like this is how well he knows me that even in that first round, like I appreciate the love, Voodoo, even though you said it was all he knows me so well that he was just like, hey, you're fighting too emotional right now. And you know what I mean? And I didn't even realize that until he told me. And I think that's why in the second round I came in a little more swaggy. You know what I mean? He knows what I'm capable of. So he brought me down. He brought my emotions down, and able to control them a little bit more.
Mm, mm.
Hell yeah.
And this is amazing, man. You're not the only one that's spoken with such high regards about this coach.
Yeah.
Jonathan Kinos also said the same thing.
Yeah.
You all are mimicking the same sentiments about him. Uh,
Yeah.
this 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 is an amazing thing. I would love to reach out to him too, Woods. We should reach out to him and pick his mind. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think I think he has a lot to share to the world,
100%, man.
or with the world, I should say.
bro,
That's what's
bro,
up.
you guys should reach out to him. You guys will trip out. I mean, Adam, you know him yourself.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
You know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
he's somebody who I watched in WEC, and I do trip out, sometimes because Barnett, I've got his action figure, like the fact Barnett and Ben Jones were like trading partners to like Brahma Bulls in a damn China shop. If I could only be a fly on the wall, there's so many great coaches. You got Pinnacle there, you got Blackhouse, like at any given moment you could have like Yoda or Anderson drop in or
Yeah.
RDA and what have you. And it's so cool that like of all the things that these people have done, they're yes, they're one hand in Chad had his retirement fight at Lights Out and what have you, and they're still very competitive. And don't you dare think that Chad George is retired on the mats. That ain't happening.
No.
You're gonna
He's
get
still
him
in there
and
with
Ari.
us.
Yeah, I know, right?
He still grinds with us every day, man. Still
Yeah.
beats us up.
Yeah.
Hey, on Saturday he looked like he could make weight and fight that day.
Yeah.
He's in
Yeah, for
shape.
sure.
He's in some
No,
serious
he
shape.
stays in there with us. He stays in there with us. He shows us, like, he doesn't just coaches it. He shows us what that mental strength is about. You know what I mean? That's what's cool
He
about it.
just
There's not a
doesn't
lot of
talk it.
coaches
He
that do
bees
that.
about it.
Yeah,
He don't just
100%.
talk. He bees
Nah,
about it. That's what's
nah,
up.
hell no, hell no, hell no. He's not
That's
about
what's
it
up.
like that.
That's what's up. That's respectable.
100%. Yeah.
Now, and Josiah's in preach. Hell yes, again, the gospel of Ozzy. That's what I'm going with, and that needs to be a shirt, good sir. Off air,
Preach. That's a
yeah,
good one. I like it. I like it.
the gospel of Ozzy. Hell yes. But we talked a lot about fights, right? And obviously,
Yeah.
you're motivated. You are a champion, and we just saw with the previous Lights Out before Lights Out Extreme Fighting 6, none other than our the good brother Eric Ghost Pepper Gonzalez excel and graduate into the UFC, right? So we talked a lot about fights, and we know your intention of getting to a bigger stage. Not to say that Lights Out isn't a bigger stage.
Yeah.
It is on Fubo TV, on Fubo Sports. But I mean, what are you doing on your downtime?
Like for example, right now, eat. I'm a natural big guy. I eat. I just honestly I chill, bro. Like I rest. Sundays I go to church. Sundays is my God day. Like my soul. You know what I mean? Like I go to church. I chill. I spend time with like my family, and I rest and get ready for another week. You know what I mean? Because like resting is key, man. And as I'm getting older, like I understand that more and more. Like if you don't rest, like yeah, even if like you're not training, but like I like to sleep and nap because I start my days early, I end them late. So like I try to get off my feet as much as I can and just chill and eat if I'm not cutting weight, of course. You know what I mean? I've eaten pizza every day since Saturday because pizza is my go-to, man.
What's
I
your
can eat
favorite
pizza
pizza?
all the time. Cheese, bro. Straight up cheese.
Straight up cheese?
That's all I need in my
Wow,
life.
damn. Do you have a spot? Do you like the Pizza Hut Domino's, or are you like I want to support local businesses? Like,
No,
what's the deal?
I like them all, man. I like them all. Like if whatever's there, you know what I mean. If I crave a pizza, there's like this bomb pizza in Norwalk that I went to. It's called SoCal. That's amazing pizza. SoCal is really good. And if you ever in Norwalk, check that out. It's bomb with some wings. Hell yeah, and hell yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Yeah, it's really good. Really good. Yeah,
Yes. And Josiah saying family is very important. Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
Now, I mean, obviously, not to kind of pull the wool over anybody's eyes, you are in New York right now. So have you gotten a chance to try a slice of New York pizza?
Actually, I did, man. With one of well, Bruno is cutting weight and he's resting, so we can't really eat around him. But him and I mean, his jiu-jitsu coach and I, we took a walk, ate some pizza, right? Ate hot dogs, ate some tacos, came back. He was like, we want a little bit of everything, you know what I mean, real quick.
Now, I mean, obviously, 2 out of the 3, right? You mentioned pizza, hot dog, and tacos. New York is synonymous with at least 2 of those things, and I'm going to go with pizza and not tacos. But what is a New York taco versus California? To me, outside of Mexico itself, Like we've got the best tacos from
Yeah,
here
100%.
in interior LA down to San Diego. So what's a New York taco like?
Well, I'm gonna be real honest with you. This is the second time I'm out in New York, but like, and this is the first time I ate tacos because his coach wanted. He was like, let's eat Mexican food, all right? So I was looking for it, and I was like, well, there's a taco spot. Let's go try it out. One of the best tacos I've had in my life.
Wow.
Straight up.
What?
Even him, he was like, I can eat this tomorrow and every day we are here. And I was like, I probably can
What?
too. It's really, really good. And all it's
Wow.
called is Tacos Locos #1. That's all it is.
Wow.
And it's all they sell is tacos. Like it's legitimately a taco spot, you know? It's really good. It's really good. Like we're gonna eat that tomorrow again for sure.
That's sick.
That's crazy, right? Yeah. I did
No,
not
but
expect
it's
it.
good.
I did not expect it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean, I know, like, especially with the burgeoning, Jewish and Italian communities in New York. That's
Yeah.
where you get your pizza. That's where you get your hot dogs and Polish
Yeah.
sausage, and it's not just like the Eastern European. Like they just have it on lock. It's just something
Yeah,
about it.
100%.
Even the bagels. The New York bagels, like there's nothing better than New York bagels. Yeah, like there's
Really,
something,
I'm gonna have to have them. I'm gonna have to have them.
bro.
Just send me a spot. We're like in Manhattan,
Okay,
so send me a spot.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
DM you, bro. Like that,
yeah, for sure.
no
Yeah,
trip. But yeah, so I mean, that's kind of crazy to me, and it's
yeah,
like, I mean, you kind of have to be local to sell tacos in this, like, already, much like LA. New York is a burgeoning city, a damn metropolis with some of the
yeah,
best foods in the world, best chefs in the world,
yeah,
Michelin star, all that and whatever.
yeah.
But to like rep like tacos
Yeah,
and
it's
like be
crazy.
fucking good.
Yeah, it's
You
really good.
know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah. I
sick.
can't wait. Yeah.
That's sick. So, outside of actually fighting yourself, do you have a favorite fighter or fight? Not as maybe your go-to, whatever, but like for me, I know, and that's why Burbank Marriott and Convention Center is so special to me because Jalen Turner, Richard Leroy. That's one of the greatest fights I've seen ever. Right?
Yeah.
CXF8 fall. Yeah, CXF8 Cali Kings. But
Mhm.
do you have like your go-to? Like if you just want to just relax and whatever, and that's the fight or fighter. Like, what is that for you?
Like the fighter that I like watching is what you're asking
Yeah,
me.
yeah, a
Um,
fighter or fight.
um, I if I have to say, I'm gonna go like old school. It's always like cool to watch like GSP. It's never boring. Like you know what I mean. It's just like his approach to fighting. Like, and I'm pretty sure that's just for most of us like who we like to watch. But I would have to go with like GSP. But if I could be completely honest with you, like I used to watch a lot of fights, but now that like I'm just so like training all the time, is like I sometimes check out. You know what I mean? Like I just like don't even watch anymore. Like unless it's like a big fight, you know what I mean? Like, but like I just kind of want to like chill because we're always in there, we're competing all the time, and
Yeah.
it's like I mean it's not that like I'm over it. It's just like I just need a break sometimes, like just kind of relax the fighting in me and just straight up chill. So I'll watch football if anything,
Who's your
straight up.
team?
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Wow, right on.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, right
yeah.
before that, was it the Patriots?
No, it wasn't. Everyone asked me that question. The first game I ever watched was in 2002 when Tampa Bay beat the Raiders for the Super Bowl. And ever since then, I said I'm a Tampa Bay fan. And yeah, so I watched like during the John Lynch days, Mike Allstott days, all those days, like, you know what I mean? And then after that year, they just sucked for the next 20. So
Yeah.
we went hiding, we went hiding. And then last year, we were like, here we are, Tampa Bay fans, you know?
Was that the? I mean, that first Super Bowl, was that Trent Dilfer was the quarterback?
No, I believe it was John Lynch at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe so. Not sure. I don't remember.
I just remember with Trent Dilfer, like
Yeah,
whenever because I know he did the stint in Tampa Bay, but like
yeah,
I that whatever era Madden that I
yeah.
had, I would always switch him over to another team, which will be remain nameless.
Nameless. Why?
I
Why?
don't know.
Why?
Okay, so a
Why?
lot of so okay, so similar to you, right? Like the sucky
Yeah,
this. I was born. Now, a lot of people think that I'm just an LA guy, but like I was actually born in San Francisco, born in '85 during the glory years of the Niners, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And like two back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks in Montana and Young. I got
Yeah.
Funko Pops right above me with those guys. And it's just a special time, and the way that like I just get when I see those colors, it's just like different. I might not
Yeah.
watch football all day every day, but I like just like I've got a George Kittle Funko Pop, and I don't even think I know who George Kittle is. I haven't watched it, but yeah. So that's it. But we have two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, almost like the what is it, the Green Bay Packers situation or the New England situation, two back-to-back Hall of Fame quarterbacks and whatever. And then we sucked like for 20 years. There was like a glimmer of hope with Alex Smith and Kaepernick and Frank Gore and shit like
I remember
Takeo Spikes and all that shit. And then it just, I mean, even fucking Randy Moss came over for a season, like his final season, like and then it just all went to fucking hell. So that's why. And I'm not like I don't hate I don't like that, like, oh, my team is better than yours or whatever, because like just like fighting, right? Everybody has it their day, so you can't be 100 all the time. So
no, 100%. That's funny.
So by the way, Ozzy, so do you on the side, do you compete professionally in jiu-jitsu as well?
Yeah, I haven't competed in a jiu-jitsu tournament in quite some time, but there is a catch wrestling tournament that Josh Barnett is hosting, and I actually signed up for that. If this heals up and my foot heals up, but I signed up to it for it before the fight, so hopefully my foot is good to go, and then this is like pretty good to go, and I'll compete in catch wrestling. I've never done a catch wrestling tournament, but I mean, Josh is on us, so he's like, "You guys better motherfucking compete if you ain't fighting." And I was like, "All right, well, I'm gonna compete too then."
And here's the thing: for those who are watching and want to dip your toe in the water of the sweet sport of catch wrestling, this Josh Barnett tournament, guess what? 2 matches guaranteed for $40. You can't.
Yep.
You're not getting that at IBJJF. You're not getting that at Naga. Come on,
it's double elimination.
Mm-hmm. But just don't get caught, fucking jumping guard and shit like that, because you can get pinned.
Yeah, that 100%. Yeah, and if we do that, Josh Barnett's gonna whoop our ass. So we can't be doing that anyways. How Josh Barnett is. He'll tell us like it is.
That dude is super smart too. He's super smart.
100%. Just knowledge. No, it's amazing training with that guy, having that guy around.
That must be quite impressive.
Hell yeah.
And like I was saying, it's a super gym, right? And it's kind of fun because not all the times do you have, like, when you go Chad George, Josh Barnett, you can put them in the Google machine. These are first ballot Hall of Famers, right? Tremendous careers in their own right. And then not all the time are they going to be great coaches, like Anderson Silva or maybe even GSP, Chuck Liddell, right? We don't see them, trying to coach anyone, right? And that's something that they do impeccably well, have the titles to prove it, but then also the mutual respect that they have for each other, that they can coexist and like bring this synergy to CMMA, because that doesn't happen. And it's actually funny because there's a lot of super gyms kind of doing the same thing now, cross-training.
No, 100%. Yeah, having those two, man, it's like Chad's already great, and then having this guy with all the fucking experience in the world is like putting them together. You're man, you're getting a masterpiece of training.
Wow.
Masterpiece. That's crazy. And then you actually get to mix it up. Yeah,
that's a hybrid right there. You got the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling together, plus the boxing, the striking that you're bringing into the. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Fucking thanks to those guys, man. Thanks to those guys. And to mix it up with Josh Barnett, it's like, man, you hate every second of it. You have to fight. You have no choice. You have to fight. You know what I mean? Because if not, it's gonna be a messed up round. Yeah.
That's super nuts. I mean, and when you're preparing for obviously Moses, I mean, regardless if you call it Lights Out or CXF, I thought it was like a cool kind of synergistic moment because like Moses really cut his teeth and made his claim in the CXF cage with
Yeah.
Blake Troop. And Blake
Right.
Troop is actually doing the commentary for you guys' fight. And
That's
then this
crazy.
is your debut as like there was so many cool little if you're just like
Yeah.
a MMA fan, there's so many fucking cool like backstories that happened just in that
Yeah.
one fight, and it's fucking amazing. So I
Yeah.
mean,
It was cool to be a
it's
part of it, man. It was badass, man. Like everything that happened, I expected that fight to go just the way it did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
yeah,
know why? You know why that is so? Because your coach had played it over and over in the gym
Mm-hmm. Yep.
before you even got into the cage.
Yeah.
And
No.
and that is
100%.
that is an amazing technique that he uses with you guys.
Yeah.
I love that.
Right before we walked out, Chad goes up to me. He was like, "Hey, are you ready to get into a fight?" And I was like, "Hell yeah!" And he's like, "You know, no matter how hard he hits you today, like everything is a fucking choice. Like you decide to fucking be a champion today. Like you gotta decide. Like no matter how hard he hits you, no matter how much it hurts, you keep fighting, and you gotta make that choice." And I made that choice. All right.
so where like I because I'm picturing places for you to go, but in terms of like what is on the horizon, and not to divulge too much of into it or what have you, but where like let's just say this time next year,
Mhm.
where do you see yourself?
Like I answered that question last year, and I thought I was gonna be somewhere else. But like now, it's like you know what, like wherever I'm at is where I'm at. Like I'm gonna continue to do this until like my body tells me no more, or like I just can't continue to fight anymore. So wherever I end up, like I'm gonna give it my best, and it's like more than like this is like my lifestyle, and accepted I've accepted that this is what I do wherever I end up. I'm gonna continue to do it. You know what I mean? It could be overseas, it could be UFC, it could be Bellator. It doesn't matter. Like I'm gonna
Mhm.
be where I'm at. I'm gonna give it my all wherever I'm at. You know,
That's what's
it's not
up.
even of where I end up. Like regardless, this is who I am, and this
That's
is
what's
what it
up.
is, and I'm gonna continue to do it wherever I end up.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah.
up. And I do have another question for you though.
What's
So
up?
the state of mixed martial art right now is shifting. It's shifting from what we knew it to be to more sports entertainment ish,
Right.
right? It's like WWE, but
Hmm.
with real fighting.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that? What's your take on that?
Like with all the like showman stuff.
Yes. What do you
Um,
feel? How do you feel about that?
like it is what it is. Like like having that now is like obviously it brings numbers in, and of course that's cool. But like I don't really care, honestly. At the end of the day, like when you stand across the cage from me, I'm gonna fucking fight. And if you're being a showman, if you're being a showman for it, you're gonna get your ass beat because I'm coming to fight. I'm coming to fuck you up. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're there for that reason, and that's what you like, hey, that's cool. You know what I mean? But I'm there to fight. Like at the end of the
That's
day, you know
right.
what I mean? Like so, like you could have that mentality on me, and you're gonna get your ass beat because
That's right.
you know, I'm coming to
That's
fight. That's
right. I
that's
can dig it.
straight up. So that's
I
cool.
can
Like it
dig
is
it.
what it is. With the showman stuff, it is what it is. I don't pay too much attention to it. Like I'm not
That's
that type
what's
of person.
up.
I'm there to fight, and that's that. You know. And if someone wants to be a
That's
showman,
good.
cool. I'll take it.
Mm,
But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you what I really am.
that's
I'm gonna
right.
fuck you
That's right.
up.
And that was probably one of the most important thing that you've said today. I'm gonna show you me,
Yeah.
me, and that is what's authentic here, right?
Yes, sir.
People being themselves, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Being yourself is gonna take you a lot further than acting like someone else.
Yeah.
And I'm
100%.
happy. I'm happy you dropped that knowledge like you did. That was perfect.
Appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, speaking of appreciation, Ozzy, I mean, this title fight that happened, the title win that happened at Lights Out Extreme Fighting 6 is a culmination of all of the things that you've been through up to this point. But
Yeah.
there has to be a throng of people and supporters, both professionally and personally, who have gotten you to this point. So, without further ado, take as long as you need. Let's get some shout outs
Yeah.
out of the way.
Well, first of all, like I can't do this well, my lord. So shout out to him. Like I said in the post fight interview, like he was allowing me to wear this belt, but the glory is to that man up there. My parents, obviously, my lovely mom, my lovely father, my brother, who have helped me out tremendously. My coaches, everybody at CMMA, to my training partners, to the Rise Athletics, my strength and conditioning coach Taylor. Like, man, these guys all play a part. My management, Iridium, having them behind my back is so cool. You know what I mean? Like, they actually take care of us. My massage therapist, D Hustle. Oh man, he's always like fixing me up when my body's banged up. Freaking 2 hours every weekend with him. It's hell, but like D Hustle, big shout outs to you. My barber, of course, Faison Cuss, who's my friend from high school. He's always taking care of me, showed me love as well. Lobos Boxing, over in Hollywood, they fucking hospitality is amazing. Hell yeah, man. That's just pretty much it, bro. And then always ready meals. Ooh,
Yes.
with that bomb
Oh,
food
yeah.
and actually help you cut
Yeah.
weight. Bomb.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Like always ready. Big shout out to them. They hooked it up. Yeah, they kept me strong and being able to cut weight.
No, absolutely, man. I've been seeing their Instagram, and
One more.
I need.
One more.
Go
One
ahead,
more.
go
One
for it,
more.
go
I
for
almost
it.
forgot. CMBB, this my good friend, California Business Bureau. I used to work there and they supported me since my amateur careers. Love you guys, Steve, Lisa, all you guys. I love you guys.
That's absolutely brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. It really takes a village, as they
Yeah.
say. That adage says. So it's amazing. But before we go, Voodoo, you got anything?
Oh yeah. So you're a 100% full-time MMA fighter now. No
Yes,
side
sir.
job, nothing. That's what's up.
Just
That's what's
teaching.
up.
Just teaching. Obviously, I gotta make ends meet, so personal training and that's that. But yeah, full
And
MMA.
that's on the same line as
Yep,
full-time fighter.
100%. Yep, full
Yeah.
time fighter.
That's
That's
what
all I do.
full-time fighters do anyway. Yes,
Yep,
yes,
yep.
yes.
That's it.
Fantastic.
Hell yeah.
Fantastic, man. I'm so happy for you, Ozzy, man. Like,
Thank you,
you
Rudo.
know,
Appreciate it.
I got started like at 35, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And my time kind of ran out a little bit before I could really get going, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And to watch you move on and do the things that you're doing right now, it brings great joy to my heart.
I
You,
appreciate you, brother.
AJ Bryan, the Spaniard, all these
Yeah.
guys, man, that we all came up together, man. And to watch you guys do what you're doing right now, man, I'm so happy for you guys.
I
And the
appreciate it,
sky's the
brother.
limit,
Hell yeah.
man. Just keep handling
Appreciate it.
business. You know what I mean? One fight at a time. Keep listening to your
100%.
coaches,
Yes,
and
sir.
God bless you, man.
I appreciate that, brother. Hell yeah. Thank you for having me on.
No, thank
Thank you
you.
for coming.
Yeah. Hell
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, and thank you guys for watching us here at Voodoo in the Woods. And if you haven't already done so, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to Voodoo in the Woods on Facebook and YouTube. I mean, Ozzy, you're subscribed, right?
Hell yeah.
Hell
That's
yes.
right.
He's Ozzy Diaz, the lights out 185-pound champion, Voodoo Maximus, the former U of MMA champion, and I'm just a guy who does podcasts and interviews, according to Woods, and dumb shit memes. Also, I'm your dude. I'm your hookup. Holla if you hear me. But
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching. This has been Voodoo in the Woods.
Hey.